the surgery is conducted by either breaking the femur or the tibia
and fibula.
And fibula. And that's the tibia and fibula are like one and the same for that segment.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right? So here's fibula, here's tibia, right? Mm-hmm. If you just break the tibia and you lengthen it, this one's still connected. So you have to break them both in order for you to be able to lengthen the...
And then actually lengthening it, how does that occur?
There's two ways, internally and externally, right? There's multiple externals. The most commonly, I wouldn't say it's the most commonly used, because a lot of people do kind of the old school method. The best way to do it with an external fixator is called LON, lengthening over nail, where you have an external fixator. Have you seen the video of me lengthening my legs at the mall?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know.
That's some viral content right there.
I know. It got a lot. And it's been shared a ton. It's crazy that I did that. Anyway, so there's an external fixator. It's both in and outside of your leg at the same time. And you're like that for months, right? It's no infection risk whatsoever. And then you have a nail that's inside. So what they do is they break your tibia and your fibula, right? Mm-hmm. And then they open up your kneecap and then they drill the bone marrow out of your tibia. They put in a titanium nail, and then they put pins that are like almost like as thick as like my pinky, almost, and they connect the external fixator to the bone with those pins, and it's lengthening over the nail, meaning like the nail is serving as a guide, and the fixator is doing the brunt of the weight bearing. Right, but the nail is kind of serving as a guide to keep it somewhat straight. And then once you finish, you use an Allen wrench. You put an Allen wrench in the fixator, and 4 times a day, you lengthen it by 1/4 of a millimeter. So it turns out to be about 1 millimeter a day is the recommended lengthening. And you do that every day until you've reached your desired length. And then you have what's called the fixator removal surgery.
Presumably there's a limit where you should stop though, based on their recommendation. Because you said until you get where you want. Like what if you just keep going?
You can. I know a guy who...
Still going?
No. No. I know a guy who... I didn't think there were going to be that many people who did more than 7. Because when I did 7.2 is I think what I did. That's like outrageous, right? Mm-hmm. But he, I think, got 9. And I was like, what the heck? And he looks good, and he's recovering well, and he's working out, you know. But yeah, you should stop, in my opinion, at 5.
Okay.
Because literally from 0 to 5, like almost no issues, right? And then once you hit that 5 mark and you start to get equinus contracture, once you get ballerina syndrome is what we call it there. Dude, it makes life so much harder. And so I personally think up until tibias up until 5 is good. Then after that, it's like logarithmically more difficult, exponentially more difficult.
Don't go past 5.
That's my personal opinion, right?
Yeah.
Up until that point, it was really easy. For a lot of people that I've seen, it's not that bad. After that, you start to get ballerina or equinus contracture, and that's where your dorsiflexion is significantly inhibited, basically.
So like that results in what?
Hell.
Okay.
Yeah, you would think, oh, you're on your tippy toes a little bit, not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
If it gets any worse, it's absolutely miserable. So to kind of give you an example.
And why is it called ballerina feet?
Because you're on your tippy toes.
Like literally you can't help yourself but be on your tippy toes?
100% correct, yes.
Dude.
It is miserable. And when you had it to the degree that I had it, so
it's like where your foot is like clenched all the time, or like
I'm trying to think if I have a picture of how bad mine was. Mine was so bad that, like, imagine this is my foot and this is my foot dorsiflexed, right?
Yeah.
Well, as much as I can. Like that's a normal foot flat,
yeah.
Right? A little bit of ballerina, a lot. My foot was like this, where my toes, my pinky, every single toe in my foot was bent, and I couldn't make my toes straight, and it hurt if someone tried. And not only that, but it was like twisted inward too. It was like that. Like this was my feet.
There's no way you didn't take a picture of that at some point.
I might have. I have to look into.
If you find it, we'll overlay it now.
Yeah, I documented so much of this. By the way, if you look through my stories on Instagram, like you'll be able to see like the highlights. Like I vlogged like the whole thing. There's a lot of stuff I don't remember, but I did almost day to day like vlogging for a while.
Okay.
The whole experience. But yeah, it was so bad. Like this was literally my feet. That the physiotherapist, some of the sessions were trying to just like get my toes used to being straight. So I had to go from that to being able to put my foot flat, and that took so long. And the reason that it got so bad was because there's so much to say. I'll keep it short. I was the heaviest person to ever do this.